Hi everybody, sanibonani. Welcome to my channel. Igama lami Ntando Mdletshe, and on this channel sayisibuke ama reality shows ethu ala eMzansi bese siza la sokhuluma ngawo lama shows. Siyaphinda ke futhi sikhulume ngama celebrities kanye nama YouTubers ethu ala eMzansi. If it is your first time joining me today and you really like my content, do not forget to press the subscribe button la ngezansi and the notification bell ukuze uthole umyalezo mangabe umsebenzi omusha sesiwufakile. And you guys, please watch adverts in order to support this channel, and thank you so much to our members that support the channel by paying a membership fee every month. So you guys, I want to talk about an issue that came up, or a subject that came up when in my comment section. Actually, there seems to be a lot of comparison between our husbands of Real Housewives of Durban, you guys. However, there are two husbands that are mostly compared when it comes to Real Housewives of Durban season 3, and that is the husband Sorisha Naidu, which is Vivian Reddy, Uncle Vivian, okay, and then there is Calvin Robinson, who is Georgia Robinson's husband. Okay, we have seen a lot of differences between these two husbands. One thing we know that is common with them is the fact that they are both rich, okay, very rich. Okay, one of the wives mentioned it a lot, that they are rich, and the other one you know how they say old money doesn't make any noise and then new money jiggles, something like that. You know, new money makes a lot of noise, so you always know somebody is like new money when they make a lot of noise about being rich. Like, oh sorry, for some reason, you know she's the richest, but she hardly ever says it. Okay, and Jojo says it a lot. Okay, so we know, guys, you could see they are very rich. Okay, but we see the lifestyles. I don't think that we can question how rich they are. Okay, but we can compare between the two and say this one is richer than that, and I think that Sorisha's husband is richer than Kelvin. But we've seen a lot of differences, guys, between the two of them, and even I've sort of felt like there is some jealousy there between the two of them, and because their marriages, I feel like they are so different, and I think that's the reason Usorisha is more attracted to Eni in terms of friendship, because I do feel like their husbands act the same in terms of like they work very hard, and so they are not present in their homes, even though I feel like the guru's riches are nowhere closer to Vivian Reddy's riches, but I feel like the way they can relate to each other, Sorisha Beno Eni, because their husbands are not around. That has been their complaint on the show, that they hardly ever show up for dinner, you guys. Okay, with the family. All right, so there are people in the comment section that have said, listen, if you are a woman and you are married to a guy that makes a lot of money, you cannot expect that they're going to make a lot of money but at the same time be present for you. So it's a sacrifice that you have to do as a wife, that if you're going to live this lavish lifestyle, then you're probably not going to be spending a lot of time with your husband because he is out there making money, you guys. And I mean, I do kind of agree with that. However, I do feel like with Vivian Reddy, I kind of don't understand. I mean, he is 70 years old, you guys. Is he ever just going to slow down a little bit for his family? Because I believe that they have been married for a long time with Sorisha Naidu, and she has sacrificed for a number of years now to be like, okay, I understand my husband is working a lot and my kids are not going to get to spend a lot of time with their dad, but now he is 70. Is he not supposed to slow down a little bit? Okay, because I'm sure, guys, they have enough in the bank. Okay, I'm sure they have enough in the bank. I'm sure they have enough investments. And if he just sat down or slowed down, not like not work at all, just slow down so that, the needs of his wife and the kids can be met a little bit, so that he can show up for more dinners, he can show up for more family dates. Like he was saying that he wants to be present now to pick up the kids from school and all of that, so that he could do that. I I feel like it's a reasonable ask from Musorisha, even though she is living that lavish lifestyle. You guys, I do feel like if he slowed down a bit, they could still live that life. However, you guys, I do feel like a lot of the viewers are feeling like it's a, you should just expect it if you live that kind of a life, that your husband is not going to be around. However, when it comes to Jojo, you guys, we're seeing something different, because even Kelvin, you guys, does have, he is making a lot of money, and I guess he is working a lot. But one thing about Kelvin is that he is present, you guys. He's showing up a lot, you guys. And I think he's one of those husbands that we have seen on the show a lot, you guys. With Uhulu, I feel like sometimes it does feel like, anyone's like, listen, you have to be home for this scene, So he shows up sometimes, like he showed up to shoot the scene where they were talking about NSI, and he showed up to shoot the scene about, when they were having a date, and he was also committing to spend more time with her and all of that. But with Kelvin, it almost seems like he is naturally in scenes, like sometimes they're shooting a scene and he's just around his wife. So to me, it seemed like Kelvin has managed to be more present when it comes to Jojo's life. So even though he is making a lot of money, he seems to be showing up a lot for Jojo, you guys. However, there is one viewer that made a comment to say we cannot compare Vivian Reddy kanye no Kelvin Robinson, because Kelvin's business is local. Like Kelvin runs Ama Butcheries, which is Bluff Meats, and it's all around KZN, so his business is local. He doesn't need to travel a lot to do business, whereas Vivian Reddy is international. I think that is a valid argument, you guys. I do not know if they do have Bluff Meats anywhere except for KZN. I have only seen it in KZN and a lot of the shops in Durban. Okay, so I understand that. I wonder, you guys, if Bluff Meats is the only businesses that Kelvin has. But I felt like it was a valid point to make when it comes to Kelvin, because if he's not traveling a lot internationally, even between provinces, then okay, it's easy for him because he's gonna go to work. When he knocks off at work, he comes home every night. Whereas Vivian Reddy might not even be in the province. Vivian Reddy might not even be in the country for him to be able to show up for his kids and to be able to show up for his wife. Okay, listen, you guys, if I had to choose between the two, for me, you guys, a partner that shows up, the partner that shows up for me and shows up for the kids is everything. Okay, we can figure out the money parts. I don't think that I could ever put a dollar sign to somebody that shows up, is there when the kids need them, when I need them, and all of that, and it feels like a family, that family life, instead of every night wondering if a person is going to show up for dinner or not, and you going to bed without a man being there. So for me, I feel like I would probably choose Kelvin compared to, because they are still rich, they are still rich. They are just not as rich as, you might not fly on a private jet, but you are still flying, okay? You might not get to Drakensberg with a helicopter, but you are still getting to the Drakensberg. And your husband, when you have a tantrum, he's still going to come and fetch you instead of the other husband that is not going to do it. I would even take Khulu's money with Kelvin's presence, okay? Kelvin's presence and Kelvin's patience, okay? Because I just feel like the physical presence is very important. However, people want different things. So I want to hear from you as the viewers. If you had to choose between these husbands, which one would you choose? Would you choose the husband that makes a lot of money, however is present? Or would you choose a husband that makes lots and lots and lots of endless money, but they're hardly ever there for you and your family? Anyway, you guys, thank you so much. There is a viewer actually that said, listen, I would take Vivian any day, even if he never shows up for me. And I was like, okay. Clearly, as people, we want different things in life. Anyway, tell me what you think about this in the comment section. Please like the video before Pumegona, share it with your friends, with your family, and even with strangers. Ntando kakhulu.